shortage of fish in Gambian markets. The killing of African Americans continue to spark protests in the United States. Uganda is widening efforts to combat COVID-19 as this and more coming your way on The World Today. This is Africa TV and many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, Gambian food markets have seen a short supply of fish in recent months after COVID-19 restrictions imposed by the government blocked major fish supplies. Senegalese fishermen who have not been able to supply fish to major Gambian markets after the government shut down sea borders among measures to halt the spread of COVID-19. Nesise has more details of that in this report.
Fish vendors at Latrikunda Market have expressed concerns over the shortage of fish resulting from border closures and the ban on foreign fishermen from crossing into the Gambia. With small wooden boats, the under-resourced Gambian fishermen are unable to meet the daily demand for fish, a major source of protein. Senghor said they want the government to lift the sea border closure to allow Senegalese fishermen to resume supply in larger quantities.
The government should allow the Senegalese fishermen to go out to sea. All this hardship we are facing today is due to the departure of the Senegalese fishing boats from the Gambia. Most Gambian youth are not engaged in these activities, so let the government allow the Senegalese fishing boats out to sea. If only there are enough fishing boats, in the price of fish would not have happened today.
The short supply of fish has resulted in a rapid increase in prices from $700 to between $1,800 and $2,800. Those said she and her fellow fish vendors are facing difficult times.
A pound of fish currently is 2,800 or sometimes 1,800. This is the first time in which a pound of fish has soared to such an amount in the Gambia. Previously, the price used to be 500, 600 or 700. We have never bought a pound of fish for more than $1,000. This is the first time. And we realize that this difficulty is due to the banning of Senegalese fishing boats into the Gambia. The few boats at the rivers cannot serve the whole country. This is the difficulty we are facing right now.
Without trawlers to fish at an industrial scale, the Gambia's fisheries sub-sector is also affected by poor management capacity at various levels. The country also lacks the capacity to tackle illegal fishing, especially of unlicensed foreign vessels, gradually depleting the country's fish stock and making it difficult for artisanal fishermen to make enough catches. For iAfrica TV, Nesise.
The shortage of fish hit Gambian markets amidst the impact of COVID-19. Now to Uganda, because the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic is gaining momentum in the Ugandan capital, Kampala, with the installation of touchless washing machines at strategic locations within the city. The new solar machines are attracting more people towards their hands as the number of cases continue to increase, according to health authorities. Ugandans have also expressed delight with the initiative, while the engineers are committed to roll out the project. Here's more details of that in this report.
As the campaign against the COVID-19 pandemic continues across Uganda, these scientists are promoting a new way of safely washing hands at Kasubi Market in the capital Kampala.
No touch, wash properly without bothering the time or what. Getting the soap, required amount of soap, required amount of water in a smart way, responsive in the sense that you do not know how to wash hands properly.
The solar-powered machine has been fitted with the sensors that dispense water and soap when a user places his hands under the tap. During the process, the machine many people have washed their hands. It is timely and effective in the fight against the pandemic. According to the data collected every day, about 3,000 people wash their hands using this improved technology. It's about the new technology.
When transacting with money, you can easily contract coronavirus. But with this machine, when you touch the money, you wash your hands.
Kampala metropolitan area has recorded an over 50% spike in cases in the last 1 month. They are taking safety measures like washing hands and sanitizing seriously.
In the markets, people are not wearing masks. There are no hand washing facilities, meaning Ugandans forgot where we came from. And unless we return to our initial determination and commitment to prevent COVID, the numbers will continue to increase.
This team of engineers has so far installed 30 machines around the capital Kampala, but they are not enough.
Regarding these machines and put especially in markets, because markets is where we have so many people. I will tell you this COVID issue will be no more.
The project is funded by the government of Uganda, Makerere University, and 2 companies from the United States of America at a cost of $30,000. The engineers say that if they get more funding, they will be able to roll out the service to other parts of the country and help more people avoid getting COVID-19.
Uganda intensify efforts to combat against the COVID-19 pandemic, and from that report there, next to the United States, because the killing of George Floyd by a white police officer who knelt on the neck of the handcuffed African-American is just one among many several racial killings in the United States. Floyd's killing and subsequent crimes committed against blacks sparked violence and continuous protests in the U.S. On Sunday, hundreds of people gathered at Rochester Police Department to protest after a approach being malhandled by the U.S. Corps, resulting in his untimely demise. Ibrahim John interviewed an American political analyst on the issue, and he has more details of that in this report.
Rochester is currently engulfed by the anger of African Americans who are illustrating the image of police mishandling a black American, Daniel Broad. Broad's death ignited anger at police involvement in racial killings. In an interview with iAfrica TV, Jason Nichols, a lecturer at the University of Maryland and a political analyst, said judging people based on their race of possessing the likelihood of committing crimes is a revelation of racism and white supremacy in American society.
No, I don't think that's right. I think that that's racism and white supremacy, is to believe just because of the color of someone's skin or the texture of someone's hair that they are somehow have a high propensity towards crime. Proven scientifically that human DNA is 99.9% the same, and that there are no differences in intelligence or propensity for crime within people of different races. So for people to go and assume that certain people are up to no good and then believe that they're supposed to protect others.
Jason believed that the way forward for the United States is to evolve and graduate from its archaic system of racial discrimination. According to Nichols, African Americans contribute equally with whites when it comes to the payment of tax, and therefore have all rights to dwell in a society where their lives will be respected.
I think is dead wrong. And the other thing is, I am a taxpayer in this country and in my area. And as a taxpayer, police are being paid with money out of my pocket to protect me, protect my property. I get treated differently and get treated as a suspect when I pay just as much, if not more, than the white person down the street. So again, this is an issue with our society, is that we want people to be treated equitably. We want communities to be treated equitably. We believe that everyone has the potential to do right until they've done wrong.
Research has shown that American police stop more blacks than people of Caucasian descent. For example, under New York City stop and frisk policy, more African Americans and Hispanic people were stopped than Caucasians. In 2015, a study revealed that police killing of black Americans does not commensurate with the crime rate. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Ibrahim John.
Protests against the killing of African Americans in the United States continues. A report there by Ibrahim John. Next to matters of refugees from Rohingya, because on Monday more than 200 Rohingya refugees were finally allowed spending nearly 7 months at sea. These refugees, who mainly consist of women and children, began their sail from Bangladesh. They are the biggest group of Rohingya refugees to arrive in Indonesia since the Andaman Sea crisis in 2015. Ibrahim John again has more in this report.
They are escaping genocide allegedly inflicted on their community by the Buddhist government of Myanmar. Their efforts to escape have been narrated in harrowing stories of sea journeys and rejection by some neighboring states. Of the latest exodus of more than 200 Rohingya refugees who landed in Indonesia on Monday, at least 30 are said to have perished in the journey. The UN Refugee Agency UNHCR stated that an unspecified number of refugees were in dire need of medical attention. A spokesperson for the International Organization for Migration IOM expressed dismay on how the refugees were abandoned at sea with
it stretches credulity to believe that that people were not aware of its presence. There was resupply, we understand, so people were talking about it. It's not a question of a ghost ship that just popped out of nowhere.
The Bali process, a regional agreement which was made to resolve such a crisis, has drastically failed to implement a comprehensive regional action to protect lives through rescue.
The Gambia has not recorded a single COVID-19 related death since that September, when 2 deaths were reported. 99 people have died from the virus since March 2020 after the 4th death was reported by Desi Cleric. 18 new COVID-19 cases were registered on Wednesday, taking the total number of confirmed cases in the Gambia to 3,293. With 36 new recoveries from the virus, the country currently has 1,460 people who have recovered from the disease so far, according to data from the Ministry of Health. There are currently 1,734 active cases. 22 people are currently in quarantine. And from that COVID-19 report or situational report in the country, next we head to Nigeria, because Nigeria's adult learning program has been greatly affected thanks to the COVID-19 global pandemic. Since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, more than 40 million students have been affected, including according to the country's Education in Emergencies Working Group. Some instructors initiated online learning classes